Hello and welcome to Playtonic. In our series on Western political thinkers, today we have arrived at Karl Marx. So, Karl Marx is associated with the ideas of communism and socialism. We won't say that he was the first socialist, but then he gave a major thrust to these ideas of communism and socialism in contrast to the prevalent ideology of capitalism. So let's have a look at his prominent ideas. Marx is a materialist. He calls idea as a false consciousness. So he believes in what is there and rather than utopian notions of idea. So he says that idea is a false consciousness. Regarding religion, Marx says that religion is the opium of masses. It is used as a tool by nations to to mobilize people in one direction, and the same notions he had for the idea of nation. So now we'll look forward what Karl Marx has to say on that. So he gave a revolutionary political program, and he says that violence is the midwife of change and there has been no birth without bloodshed, which means that he is proposing violence or revolution. And in that revolution, why is he proposing revolution? This is a thing to be seen. So he says that the entire history of mankind has been a history of class struggles. So which are the two classes? One is the class which are haves and the other class is that of have-nots. So haves have always exploited have-nots. Haves are the people, the bourgeois class that is having access to all the resources, that is having monopoly over resources, that is dominant. And have-nots are the proletariats. They are the workers who are exploited by the bourgeois class. So he says that the entire history of mankind is a history of this class struggle, and this he explains through historical materialism, which means that he gives an economic interpretation of history, and dialectical materialism. And so in this context he calls for proletariat internationalism, which means he's calling on he's urging the proletariats of the entire world to unite. And when they will unite, they will have nothing to lose but their chains. So when we were studying that Karl Marx was suggesting a revolutionary political program, so this was the revolution that he is suggesting, that all the proletariats of the world should come together. They should rise in revolution against the bourgeois class, against the haves, against the capitalistic model. And he says that for this particular revolution you will have to use violence. Violence is the midwife of change, and there has been no birth without bloodshed. This is what he suggests. All right, moving ahead. So he gives this base and superstructure model, where he says that economy is the base and all other things, the culture, the nation, the society, everything is a superstructure, and the superstructure completely depends on the base, which is economic. So superstructure is the reflection of base, and whoever controls the base, whichever class controls the base, that is going to rule the superstructure also. So he says that in the entire history of mankind, the bourgeois class has exploited the proletariats by controlling the base structure, that is the economic structure. And for this he is suggesting now communist revolution. So when Marx is suggesting the communist revolution, he says that all the proletariats should rise up and they should go for the violent revolution to destabilize the capitalist economic structure. And then he says that the dictatorship of the proletariat will be a transitional phase. There will come a phase when the proletariats would be dictators, and then the final stage that Marx is imagining is that of a classless, stateless, communist society. So he wants a classless society where there are no classes, where there is no state, and such a society Marx wants. Now, one of the major ideas of Marx is his views on alienation. In this aspect, he says that The entire capitalist model is such that the worker, the proletariat, feels alienated. What does he feel alienated from? From the process. Since the process of production is so exploitative, and he does not know that the shirt he is making is going to go in which shop, who is going to wear that. So he gets, in some manner, he gets alienated from the product of his labor, and also from the process. He has no interest in the process. He's just coming to the factory, just involving himself in mass production so as to meet his ends. Next, since the process is so exploitative, he has to work for long hours, and the worker loses connection with the society. There is no time to spend with the society, so he gets alienated from the society. Next, from himself also. A person who is not passionate for the work he is doing, obviously he'll get alienated from himself. So the capitalist model has led to this alienation. Now, the notion of capitalist freedom is just a false consciousness in the views of Karl Marx. Now, this idea of alienation has inspired Neo Marxist as well as the Frankfurt School. So again, we have already dealt with this, that Marx calls idea a false consciousness, and he says that consciousness or the idea does not determine our existence. It is our existence that has led to development of ideas and consciousness. Next, what is the relevance of Marxism? See, with the fall of USSR, there was a big blow to socialism and Marxism. Even Francis Fukuyama went to the extent of saying that end of history has come. Liberalism, capitalism has won this battle. And since then, the forces of neoliberalism are on rise, like WTO, globalization. And also, Marx was criticized as the enemy of open society, since he is far away from the ideas of liberalism, and other critics call his theory as pseudoscience. Yet others have charged him of economic determinism, that he does not has any other perspective of looking at things beyond economics. Yet, whenever the inequalities rise up, whenever exploitative nature of capitalism rises, relevance of socialism and communism, Karl Marx ideas, it pops up again, and the worker class finds inspiration in Karl Marx, in his ideology. Also, Marxism, socialism as an ideology will always remain relevant. And with this, we have covered Marx. We have two more thinkers to go, Gramsci and Hannah Arendt. We'll be covering them very soon. All the best. Stay tuned to Playtonic. Thank you.